morning, everyone. It is my last herping day in Georgia before we head west for a week. I'm going to be meeting up with Ian today, and we are going to go cruise down in central Georgia looking for pine snakes and hognoses and rattlesnakes and really anything we can find. Got a pretty full day of herping planned, so hopefully we can turn up some stuff and I can get one more video cranked out before this trip. Yeah, we got a little bit of a drive to get to where we're going to be herping today, and once we get there, I will let you guys know when we see something. And there's our first snake of the day. We got a nice little juvenile racer. We just got down here, and there's a big truck coming that would certainly have run this guy over. But yeah, first snake of the day, a nice little black racer. Only about 5 minutes after arriving at our location for the day, so good start. Hopefully this will not be the only thing we see. I'm gonna let him go and we're gonna keep moving. But first snake of the day, a little yearling black racer. Well, there we go. That is a southern hognose snake, a big male lugging his way across the road. Fantastic. All right, guys, Ian's taking some pictures of this guy real quick. And then we're just gonna let him keep crawling. But nice adult male southern hognose snake. Let's see how he handles this embankment. It's not going well so far. He's really having a hard time. Half of his body's buried under sand.
He's losing ground.
Man, they're really something else. The fact that this is a real animal that's responsible for keeping itself alive is kind of impressive. All right, bud, you're up the embankment now. You can crawl away. Hopefully we'll see a couple of these guys this morning, but it is going to get pretty warm pretty fast, so we're going to get back on the road. But southern hognose snake here to start off the day. Yeah, looks like maybe an older track, but that could be a platy. This guy crossed the road.
Couldn't make it up the hill.
And turned around and went back. Incredible. Well, here is another really frustrating snake track. This is a very big snake, either a pine, a diamondback, or potentially a timber. But Ian says he thinks it's a rattlesnake because this looks like a tail dragging, and based on how wide that track is, I think he might be right. But we've been poking around over here and we haven't had any luck finding it, so there's a big brush pile over here that snake could be hiding in, and it will be very hard to see even if he was right in front of you. All right, 11:30 a.m., air temp 77 degrees. So it still feels pretty good out here. It's a little bit toasty, but it's not overly warm. Perfect weather to be finding some of the big targets that we want to see today, so we're gonna keep at it. Why did we just day cruise a tantilla? What is happening? It's 82 degrees. That is one of the weirdest. He's definitely been pecked at or something. His back half is somebody's been messing with him, so I'm assuming that's how he ended up in the road. But still, that is not a species you normally expect to see on the road in the middle of the day when it's 80-something degrees. So the circumstances of this guy are really weird, and I think this wound right here on his side can give us some context as to why he's in the road this time of day. And if I had to be a betting man, I would say that something was probably trying to eat him and he was making his escape. So we're gonna let this guy go on the side of the road here in the pine straw, where he can bury and get away from the heat and whatever it was that was trying to eat him. Really weird and cool next snake of the day. I mean, it's warm enough out here that we haven't seen anything in like hours at this point, and then there's just a tantilla in the road. All right, everyone, it's 3 p.m., heat of the day, and we're kind of walking around in this creek right now, looking at flowers and hoping to maybe see some sort of reptile or amphibian. But yeah, it's pretty hot at this point. Kind of giving up on cruising for the morning, and we're gonna let it cool off a little bit more and hit the road again in the afternoon. We might end up switching areas and going to look for coral snakes, but I'm not sure yet. But for now, we're just gonna walk around in the swamp and enjoy this beautiful creek. Hello everyone, I am back at home where we are in pretty desperate need of some rain still, but it has been probably a week and a half since the first part of this video, where we found the Hognose and cruised around down in central Georgia. I have since gone out to Wyoming and Colorado and Nebraska, which you guys will have seen already for the most part, I think. But I had this episode that I had kind of half done and I didn't have a way to wrap it up. I just wrapped up a fantastic outing here in North Georgia, and I'm going to finish the day by flipping here at home. And if it goes well, that will be the end of this video. We're gonna go flip and see what we can turn up here at the house to wrap this one up. Ooh, look at that. Holy crap, that's a beautiful copperhead. Right here in my yard. All right, we're gonna go try to look at this guy because he is awesome. Look at that. Beautiful, vibrant copperhead. Second one we've seen in the yard this year. And this is a new snake. I don't think I've seen this one before. He's completely different looking than any of the individuals I have ever seen here. Really cool. I don't think I have ever found a copperhead under this piece, which is kind of surprising because it is a good piece for him. There's good space underneath it. That is such a cool looking snake though. Hasn't even moved a muscle since I flipped it either. It's just sat there. And with good reason. He's pretty well camouflaged even though he's not on leaves. And had I not been looking for snakes, I might not have even seen him sitting there. But fairly big adult copperhead. You can see him kind of next to my foot. I'm not going to put it within striking range, obviously. Just wow. I actually saw a copperhead earlier today. That will be in another episode, but this is the second one of the day and the second one of the year here at home. Really, really cool. We're starting to lose light though, so I'm just going to let this guy go and we're going to go see what else we can turn up. But fantastic adult southern copperhead is our first snake of the day here at home. Look at the faded in the bands. That is just so awesome looking. That's one of the coolest copperheads I think I've ever seen. And he lives here in my backyard. And I've never even seen him until today. So just goes to show how inoffensive these snakes can really be. They could be living in your yard for years and years and years and you would never even know it. Just like this. This guy has almost certainly been here this entire time, but they're just very secretive and they don't want anything to do with people any more than people want anything to do with them. We're happy to have these guys here at the house. They are just another animal after all. And the only situation in which this snake could possibly harm me is if I give him the opportunity by either trying to mess with him or stepping on him while wearing inappropriate footwear. So, as with any venomous snake encounter, we're just gonna leave him alone and we're gonna be just fine. So I'm gonna try to gently cover this guy back up since he hasn't moved at all, and we're gonna keep flipping. There's that guy again too. Either that or that's a different copperhead. I would assume that's the same snake since we've seen a copperhead in this stack twice now, and it was the same snake both times. I think that's him, but he is in shed. I'm gonna take a quick voucher shot. Well, I definitely wasn't expecting our first two snakes at home today to be copperheads, but they both were. I do think this guy's going to end up being a recapture, but it looks like he's had a meal since we saw him last, which is great, of course. He was a little bit thin when we found him back in April, but he's looking about right now. But he is deep in shed, not looking his best, and since this guy is a regular, I'm almost positive this is the same snake. We don't want to mess with him too much because we want him to stay. So yeah, I'm just going to let him crawl back under, but second copperhead of the day here at home. Not bad at all. And we've still got a lot of stuff to flip, so we're just going to let him crawl back into the tin, and we're going to see what else is out. All right. A toad. What are you doing under there? Look at that guy. There's a scorpion right here. And I saw a fence lizard running down in the leaves too. Oh, racer. This stack is loaded today. That's our first racer of the day. I don't know if we've seen that guy before. He looks completely different from the ones we've been seeing this year. Hello. You're gonna bite me, aren't you? All right, all right, all right, all right. All right, relax. Brother. No. Stop that. Well, that is definitely a nice big healthy racer. It looks like he's got a meal in him too, so we don't want to mess with him too much because we don't want him to regurge, so okay. I'm just gonna let him crawl back into his stack. We're gonna keep flipping. 3 snakes so far, and they're all big snakes too. Really cool. Today has just been a great day of flipping. You guys will see all the other stuff we found earlier today in a future episode, probably the next one that comes out, but what a fantastic day it has been. And we're wrapping it up with a solid day here at the house too. But all right, come here. Nope, I just want to put you back in your stack, bud. So he just took off into the woods and I had to catch him again. Just go under your cover, dude. There. Go under. Under, under, under. There you go. So ridiculous. I went all day without getting snake bit, and then this racer got me about 10 times in the process of trying to release him under his cover. There's a brown snake. That's weird. Come here. A couple of race runners and a brown snake. Not sure I've ever seen anything but scarlet snakes under there before. That's cool. Really do not see too many brown snakes here at home. Normally red-bellied snakes are more common. I mean, they're by no means rare, but I definitely don't see them with any regularity. This one is beautiful too. The color looks a lot more blown out because of the contrast with this black background, but still a really nice looking snake. So far we've got 2 copperheads, a racer, and this guy. Or possibly girl. She's looking a little thick there at the back end, which would be cool. We can always go for having more brown snakes around, so just gonna let her crawl back under this. There she goes. All right, let's see what else we can turn up. Light is fading fast, so flip this real quick. Another brown snake. What on earth? That is weird. That one's completely different looking too. He's nice and gray. All that rain we had must have brought him out. Figures about 2 seconds after I say these guys are pretty uncommon here, we find another one. But I've definitely never found a brown snake under this piece. I think this piece and the one that the other guy was under are both pieces I've only ever seen scarlet snakes under. So, pretty cool. But I'm just gonna move this guy and let him crawl back under. Come here. I don't wanna accidentally squish you under there. There's another brown snake over there. Are you kidding me? This is weird. You see him over there? That one's even weirder. Super light colored. So I don't think we might have seen 1 brown snake here all year up until this point. And now we've gotten 3 under consecutive pieces. Like back to back to back. 1, 2, 3, just like that. Right after I said they're not common here. That is weird, and I don't have any explanation for it. If I had to guess, I'd probably say that has something to do with all the rain we had and how dry it's been up until this point. It just caused a spike in their activity, but either way, really strange to see 3 right here all next to each other. I mean, there was 1 under there, 1 under that board, and then 1 under the big black thing. Really strange. All right, we're gonna finish up with this set again. everybody today. All right. Well, that is going to be a wrap on that. It was pretty productive. We saw a bunch of unusual snakes, like away from our normal cast of characters we see here at home. Like I said multiple times, brown snakes are not particularly abundant here, so it was really weird to see 3 of those back to back to back. And a new copperhead I'd never seen before. A big adult as well. So yeah, pretty good way to wrap up this episode if I do say so myself. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. I know the highlight's probably going to be that little southern hognose we saw at the beginning. We got some solid other snakes in there too, so I think I'm going to wrap this one up. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.